Okay. Today I would like to tell you about the next unit we are going to start next class. Uh, that is the past and the future. The past and the future. Okay. Um, the idea is I would like you for next class. That is why I decided to record the class because maybe we need um, a class, that is today's class, in order to prepare the beginning of this unit, the new unit. Well, the idea is, what do you think is something important that happened, for example, in the 1950s? Something that you consider that you maybe know because you have been talking about this in a history class, or you know with whom, or maybe you can find some information about something that talking about sports. The topic could be medicine, could be science, could be a culture, could be about a painter, a famous actress, I don't know, a famous film, something, doesn't matter topic. The idea is something that was really important, talking about the years, I mean, from 1950 to 1959. The second is in the 1960s. 1960s. What can we say that was something important? Talking about music, talking about a discovery, an invention, talking about the planet, talking about families, talking about religion. Doesn't matter the topic. Economy. The same is something that I would like you to do in the 1970s, the 1980s, the 1990s, well, the year 2000, from 2000 to 2010, and from 2010 to 2020. So these are the period of time that I would like you to find something important that happened. Doesn't matter in which field. Yes. Um, so this is something that we're going to talk about first. So next class, the idea is, well, I'm going to find some important things that happened in the 1990s, in the 1970s, in 2006, in 2014, I don't know, and I'm going to tell you, and I would like you to tell me what you found, right? This is the first thing. Well, but to talk about this, that is about the past and the beginning of the unit, because the unit is the past and the future. I want to start with the past. It's a good idea to refresh our memory about what? What can we do? What words we can use to refer to the past? Well, every time we use ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, 30 years ago. Yes, I'm going to write one. For example, 20 years ago. Okay, 20 years ago, something that happened. Yes, that's okay. More than 10 years ago, we can say, if we don't remember exactly, we can say over, for example, 30 years ago. So not only the idea of 30 years ago, but we can say over 30 years ago, over 10 years ago, over 40 years ago. Yes? What? To refer to the past. Yes? Something else we can use is the word during. 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 So I say, during, for example, if you don't know about a specific situation, talking about a war, talking about a discovery, You can say, well, but I don't remember if it was in 1972 or 75 or 74. So you say during the 1970s. And this sentence, if you say during the 1970s, something happened, is correct. I'm going to understand that is a bit, I mean, among the 1970 and 1979. But you don't remember exactly. So you can say during the 1940s, during the 1990s, so 91, 2, 3, I don't remember exactly, during the, yeah, okay. Specifically, you can say you can say in 1941, I'm going to tell you what happened. Or I'm going to tell you what happened in 1935, in 1958, in 1999, in 2004, I don't know. So, but we can say in the, for example, 1950s. So you can use the idea of ago, over 30 years ago, during the 1970s, for example, or in the 1950s, right? Ago, over some years ago, during or in, yes, to refer about the past. Okay, this okay. Something else. When we talk about a period of time in the past, we can use another, I'm going to put all them together because this is the idea. We can use something else to refer about the past that is from to. If you know that something specifically important for the human beings happened in a period of time of 2 years, for example, you can say from 1945, from 1988 to 1990. Yes, so specifically from, for example, 1964 to 1969. From to. So to refer about the past, we want to write referring, yes, referring to time in the past. This is the correct title. Referring to time in the past. Referring, copy this in a notebook. Referring to time in the past, we can use different expressions. Over some years ago, during the 1950s, the 1990s, etc., in the 1950s, 1960s, etc., or from 1 year to another year, from 19, I don't know, 91 to 1999, from to. These are expressions referring to time in the past. Okay, so the idea is that as a homework for next class, I would like you to find something that happened in the 1950s that is or could be of interest in order to talk about in the 1960s or 1970s, specifically in 1975 or from 1975 to 1977 or during the 1970s, you can say, yes. Or you can say, wow, 54 years ago, right? Over 55 years ago, over 30 years ago, okay? Well, think about the different periods of time, yeah? You can use internet, you can use your memory, you can use a history book, because I suppose that in history you have been talking about different things that happened, um, talking about, as I told you, talking about cinema, talking about music, talking about science, talking about specific situations in, I don't know, Brazil or Europe or an invention in the United States or a tsunami in Australia. I don't know, doesn't matter the topic, yes? But to talk about something. Don't think about difficult things. For example, if you ask me about, for example, the 1960s, I remember, for example, uh, that when I was 15, 16 years old, I remember that I used to dance, for example, music, rock. But what kind of rock? From the Beatles, for example, right? But the Beatles, when I used to go dancing, the Beatles had broken up. Yeah, so the group didn't exist anymore. But I know because I used to like and I like this group a lot. I remember that the group was, how can I say, as a group performing in the 1960s, right? Right? So when I used to go dancing, I used to go dancing in the 19, at the end, in the late 1970s, yes, or 1980s, 90, and then the late 1970s, yes. So I remember the group didn't exist anymore as a group, but the music of the group, yes, uh, still today, many people are fans of the Beatles, yeah. So I could say that during the 1960s, because I don't remember if it was the group started playing together in 1961, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't have any idea, 7, but I know that was in the 1960s. So during the 1960s, the Beatles started um, their career as musicians and started being popular and famous. And you can say that, for example, um, more or less from 1960, let's go to say 63 to 1969, this group was absolutely the best rock group, yes, around the world. Yeah. Well, this is the idea. So you can say, what topic, what can I say about the 1960s? Well, I'm going to talk about the Beatles. This is the example I would like to tell you today to make you understand that it's not such a wow, I have to talk about a discovery. No, something completely simple, a topic of conversation, only that, okay? Well, so this is something that I would like you to do for next class. And remember too that you have to tell me the homework that was for today, that you have to tell me if you want to send me, you can do that. Remember how to overcome shyness, that was a homework, yes, using the suggestions, what about, have you thought about, yes, why don't you, maybe you could, yes, how to overcome shyness, how to stop biting your fingernails, how to organize your schedule, get in better shape, yes, or learn to control your temper. So this is the homework you have to do. Yes, one from last class and the other is today. If you want to write down the sentences, some ideas, you can. If you want to record the sentences and send me an audio, obviously that you can. Yes, and next class we are going to start with something else. Understand? Yes. Well, so this is for today. This is what I want to tell you today. I'm going to tell you that next class again is on Monday. If you can, I remember that the other day was on Monday at what time? Wait a second, at 2 o'clock was the class. Wait a second, I'm going to see, because I don't remember. Wait. The other day. We have classes at what time? At 4 o'clock. Yeah? Yes. Monday at 4 o'clock, we have our class, and we're going to correct this. On Monday, next Monday, at 4 o'clock. Okay? Well, see you. Bye-bye.